Here's the harsh truth. Most Americans are losing money every single day, and it's because they're making the wrong choice between the huge financial decisions. Should you pay off your debt first, or should you start investing in the stock market? Now, the answer isn't as simple as you might think, but getting it right could completely change your financial future forever. So stick around, because we're about to break it all down with real, hard numbers. This isn't just theory, this is the practical advice you've been looking for. On one side of the ring, you've got debt. We're talking about the heavy hitters here, especially high-interest debt like credit cards. Think about it. Your credit card could be charging you anywhere from 15%, 20%, or even up to 25% in annual interest. That's a massive financial drain, silently chipping away at your wealth every single month. On the other side of the ring, you have investing. We're talking about putting your money to work in the stock market through things like stocks or ETFs. Historically, the stock market has returned about 7% to 10% annually on average over the long term. So, you have a guaranteed loss from debt versus a potential gain from investing. Which one do you tackle first? How do you decide which opponent to face down to secure your financial victory? It's a classic financial dilemma, and we're going to solve it. Let's get real with the numbers, because math doesn't lie. Imagine you have $5,000 in credit card debt with a 20% APR. That interest is relentless. Now, let's say you have an extra $5,000 in cash. You're tempted to invest it, right? You put that $5,000 into an S&P 500 ETF, and you're hoping for an 8% annual return, which is a reasonable long-term average. In 1 year, your investment might grow by $400. That sounds great, but wait. But hold on, because not all debt is created equal. It's not always a clear-cut case. Think about your other loans. Things like student loans, mortgages, or maybe a low-interest personal loan. These often have much lower interest rates, say somewhere in the 3% to 6% range. Now the math starts to look a little different, doesn't it? If your debt is only costing you 4% a year, but the stock market has a historical average return of 8% or 9%, then investing your extra money could actually put you ahead financially over the long run. In these specific cases, splitting your money could be a powerful strategy. You could continue making your regular payments on that low-interest debt while also starting to invest and build wealth. It's about comparing the cost of your debt to the potential earnings from your investments. When the potential gain outweighs the guaranteed loss, investing while you have debt starts to make a lot of sense. Let's look at real-life scenarios to see how this plays out over time. Meet Jane. Jane had a $15,000 student loan with a 5% interest rate. She decided on a balanced approach. She continued to make her regular loan payments, but she also started putting $200 every single month into a low-cost index fund. Her net worth grew steadily. She was reducing her debt while her investments were growing, all without the crushing stress of high-interest payments hanging over her head. Now, meet Mike. Mike had the exact same student loan, but he decided to ignore it, only making the minimum payments and instead threw all his extra cash into the stock market. Sure, the market gains helped his portfolio grow, but the compounding interest on his loan acted like an anchor, holding him back for years. For the first few years, his net worth barely budged because the loan interest was eating away at his progress. The lesson here is clear: your strategy and the type of debt you have matter immensely. A balanced approach often wins the race. Personal finance is never just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's deeply personal. And it's emotional. Debt isn't just a mathematical problem. It's a source of stress, anxiety, and sleepless nights for millions of people. Think about that feeling of seeing a huge credit card bill in your inbox. It's heavy, even if the math suggests that investing might earn you a slightly better return than paying off a low-interest loan. The psychological relief and the emotional freedom that come from being completely debt-free can be absolutely priceless. That feeling of freedom is, for many, a return on investment in itself. This is why many financial advisors and experts will still recommend paying off all non-mortgage debt first, even the lower-interest stuff, just to remove that mental burden and give you a clean slate to start building wealth from. You can't put a price tag on peace of mind. So, after all that, what's the actual, practical strategy you should follow? Here's a simple rule of thumb that you can apply to your own situation. First, look at your debt. If you have high-interest debt, we're talking credit cards, payday loans, anything over about 8%, your number one priority should be to pay that off as aggressively as possible. Throw every extra dollar you have at it. This is a financial emergency. Once that's gone, or if you only have low-interest debt like a mortgage or a student loan under 6%, then you can consider a split strategy. You can make your regular payments on the debt while simultaneously investing in your future. And one crucial thing, throughout this whole process, you must have an emergency fund. Aim for at least $1,000 to start, and build it up to cover 3 to 6 months of expenses. This fund is your safety net. It is what will prevent you from having to take on new debt when an unexpected expense pops up. The key is to balance the guaranteed negative returns from your debt against the potential positive returns from the market. At the end of the day, there is no single one-size-fits-all answer that works for everyone. But understanding the numbers, knowing your interest rates, and being honest about your own comfort level with risk and debt is absolutely critical. Your financial journey is unique to you. So, I'm curious, what's your strategy? Are you focusing on paying off debt first, or are you trying to invest early? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and if you want more honest personal finance advice that actually works, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.